Just over 2 months ago, we closed the book on sim racing history as we crowned a first-time champion at The Rock. Now, the history books are back open and racing is back in session for the high-banked heroes of the Venom Truck Series. Months of stewing and anticipation are now at their end as we are getting ready to kick things off with the Rocketman 85 at Daytona International Speedway for Season 6 of the Venom Truck Series. And every single lap of racing action is going to take place right here on the home for good old-fashioned truck racing, Turn 200. We are so happy to be back here with you tonight. It is time for Venom Truck Series racing action here on Turn 200, and it's the Booth Boys back at it again. Tommy Cook, which direction are you? It's Matt Williamson, wherever you are. Wherever you are, you're home. That's where you are. We're all back home here on Turn 200 with some truck racing action. It's the start of a new season. Everybody here tonight is feeling hopeful about the race and about the season. How long are those feelings going to last?
Well, we're starting out the season here at Daytona, so this is a track where if something bad happens to you, it's not going to spell the end of a season for sure. Chances are there's a lot of other good drivers that may be taken out as well. It's when we get to the short tracks, the intermediate tracks, where drivers are really going to start cutting their teeth with each other, and if those don't start out well for you, then it might be time to start worrying about how the rest of the season will develop for you.
A lot to start thinking about, and it's not too early to start thinking about a championship here tonight, as well as taking a big old race win. We have a lot of folks signed up for this season of the Venom Truck Series, some returning faces as well as plenty of new ones. So with that in mind, the format tonight is altered just a little bit.
Indeed, we are expecting a full field of 40 trucks here tonight, and potentially a few more to turn up and have to be turned away as well. With that in mind, for the first two races of the season, anyone who finished in the top 30 in points from last season is automatically locked into the race if they show up to compete. That leaves quite a few regulars on the outside looking in, as well as all of the rookies, of which there are 16 signed up to compete here in Season 6. We will have two duels here tonight, and the long story short is there will be a lot on the line here in preliminary competition.
The nice thing about doing our second season of the Venom Truck Series on Turn 200 is we now have a little bit of footage archived to be able to dig back through from time to time. Remind folks of what we saw here last season.
Well, it was the third time the drivers of the Venom Truck Series saw action here at Daytona, and there was certainly a lot of hard racing. A couple of medium-sized crashes took out some of the front runners in the early portion of the race. We ended up with a 4-lap dash at the end of regulation, and with the field wrecking behind him twice, Jeremy McKinnon was able to hold on to his top spot and take his fourth career victory, starting the season out in a big way.
Here's some of the all-time stats and figures here at Daytona in the Venom Truck Series as we gear up for tonight for what is the biggest race of the season for the Venom Boys. It's the Rocketman Memorial 85 here tonight at Daytona. This race is named after the late Merv Turner, one of the pioneers of this league who passed away last year. There are a lot of drivers who want to win tonight to come away with the early points lead or just to claim victory, but there are an additional few drivers, some of the OGs of the Venom Truck Series, who want to win this race for Merv here tonight. But with that in mind, let's not discount the rest of the schedule here for Season 6, Matt, because there are some absolutely banging races for the next 17 weeks here on Turn 200. What races stick out to you?
Well, two of the return tracks from Season 5 that were absolute barn burners are North Wilkesboro and Michigan, which had a wild finish. Those are two I'm looking forward to and think will produce some exciting racing again. Now, the short tracks delivered big last season, which means there are two new tracks I am really looking forward to, and those two are New Hampshire and the return to Concrete Bristol here for the Venom Truck Series. Of course, there are a lot of good tracks here. A couple others that come to mind is Auto Club, which will be a night race, and Twin Ring Motegi we will be going to Japan in the Venom Truck Series this season. we're in for a good one.
You mentioned it already. First time ever for the Venom Truck Series at New Hampshire. First time ever as well to one of the road courses on the schedule this season, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. You don't have to wait long to get there. I'm excited to get back to Texas, which has had the most Venom Truck Series races ever. In fact, last season was the only season that did not have Texas on the schedule. So we got our first taste of Venom at Texas. Charlotte is back on the schedule for the second time ever. Talladega is back on the schedule. And I think the wild card of the season, like you said, Concrete Bristol. There's going to be a lot of beating and banging, and I cannot wait to get there. But before we get there, we have to make it through tonight. The time for talk and anticipation, it's nearly over. We are just a few minutes away from setting the field for the Season 6 opener for the Venom Truck Series. The Rocketman Memorial 85 is next here on Turn 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? We got trucks on track. We are qualifying here at Daytona. Welcome back to the channel. It's Tommy Cook, it's Matt Williamson. We sort of explained the stakes of qualifying here. This isn't your traditional season opening Daytona qualifying here where only the front row is up for grabs and everybody else has to work out of the duels here tonight. Top 20 trucks in single truck qualifying here are locked into the show here tonight.
Yeah, top 20 are going to get locked in here, and we will take a look at the timing tower as we get some times that start to roll in. You know, it's a little bit of a different beast this season with a lot of new drivers signed up for the league. We actually have an opportunity for some people to get bumped out of this race, so certainly some things to race for here in qualifying.
I believe right now we stand at 41. And field size tonight is 40. So somebody is going to get to packing here after the duels. 20 drivers here tonight are not going to have to worry at all. They're not even going to have to lift a finger for the next probably half an hour or so. Some time's up on the scoring chart here. And it should not be a surprise for anybody to see Garrett Rainey up top. He is a qualifying whiz at the super speedways. We'll have to see if that time holds up, though, as most of these drivers are coming around for lap number 2.
And here's your winner from Daytona last season, Jeremy McKinnon, looking to go for the Duel, if you will. Little pun there. His second Daytona win in a row. And, of course, we had a Pro-Am event in these trucks. I believe it was just last week, and Kyle Zittel was the winner of that one. Also won a super speedway race in Truck 200 as well. So
at Daytona,
he is one to watch here.
Not only that, he won the Pro-Am event this season. He won the Season 4 truck race at Daytona. He also won the Season 5 Pro-Am at Daytona and the Truck 200 race at Daytona. So I'd say Kyle Zittel should probably be at the top of the list. And now we've got a new driver atop the timing list as Nathan Reynolds has unseated Garrett Rainey for the quick time in Daytona qualifying. How about it?
I mean, of all the people that I wouldn't be surprised, Nathan Reynolds is one of them, but all of a sudden, he has been overtaken.
Wow.
It's the number 6, Nathan Palawota.
One of 13 drivers looking to make their first career Venom Truck Series start tonight here, rather. Nathan Palawota and his teammate Oz Kennard. They have the top 2 times right now. Don Milkowitz, now another rookie, sits in the 4th position. And Brian Reyes, the 3rd of the Terminal Velocity Racing trio of Nathan and Oz. And he now sits in 5th. So it is 4 rookies in the top 5, and now scratch that as Chad Stearns has just bumped Brian Reyes out of the top 5. Chad, who was not at Daytona last season, so it's good to see that 0-5 on the high banks here. 3 times a winner in Season 5.
And the new drivers are going to find out quickly. Chad Stearns is somebody that he is going to be there week in and week out. He did miss a few races last season, but when he's there, he is somebody you do not want to mess with.
And we'll get to our starting grid here for heat race number 1, or rather duel number 1, in just a second. But want to welcome in a special guest, a hometown driver here. That is the one and only Mr. Flinky Roberts. Young man, welcome back to Booth 200. I did not get a chance to see where you qualified here. What's is your race looking like here?
Starting in the mid pack of Heat 1, it looks like currently Ace. Qualified like around 26, I believe.
So not too far off. Were you wanting to get after it in the duels anyway, just to get a little bit of practice in?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can see my teammate right in front of me, so probably gonna get together and try to get him into the main race.
Are super speedways more your style? I know you love the a lot of the shorter tracks. You were a winner at Bristol Dirt last season. So these big fast tracks, do they suit your driving style too?
I mean, sort of depends. I mean, everyone's good at it, so it's just like how good are you at them? I mean, it gets a little bit frantic with being so close to different cars, but you get used to it after a few laps.
Alrighty, I think we're getting ready to roll trucks off pit road here. So best of luck to you, and maybe we'll talk to you again later tonight. What do you say?
Hopefully, that's the goal. All right, thank you, guys.
Alrighty. Good to hear from Flinky before the race here as we get ready to roll the cars for heat number 1 here. It'll be Mark Dillon looking to make his first career start here tonight with Pascal Samard on the outside of the front row. Row number 2 then will be Kevin Sargent, who won his heat, or rather his duel. I keep saying heat race. He won his duel here last season in Season 5. He's one to watch out for here tonight. Brody Gunter, another one of the rookies that has lit up the timing charts in the recruitment races that we've had earlier this season. So Brody Gunter on the outside of row number 2 in the 0-1 car. David Fay is back in action here tonight with the Venom Truck Series for the first time since IRP last season. He rolls off in 5th. Will Salamone finished just outside of the top 5 in points last season. He starts in 6th here tonight in duel number 1. Joshua Caudill, a rookie, will start in P7 in truck number 94. Then it is Flinky Roberts to his outside in 8th. On row number 5 on the inside, it is Austin Holyfield. In the Hate to See It Motorsports number 10, one of many drivers who have changed up the truck number heading into this season. We'll get through most of that here tonight as the night rolls along. To his outside, Ryan Borboom, who was making a lot of noise here last season in the final lap before getting spun out. He starts in 10th in duel number 1. And Kyle Dumig rounds out the field for duel number 1 here in spot number 11. I'm not too sure that we are not sending somebody home out of this duel. We have 41 trucks here tonight and 40 spots, 11 starters in duel number 1 rather, and 10 starters in duel number 2. As we come to the green flag, I think it's a safe assumption to say that somebody is probably going home. I think in this field here, we have 5 drivers that are locked in on points. It should be Samard, who is edging ahead on the outside right now for the race lead. I believe Will Salamone, Greg Roberts, Austin Holyfield, and Kyle Dumig are all locked in on points. So one of the other 6 drivers may be on the outside looking in here.
In these types of races, when you're racing at a super speedway and there's drivers here that you're not super familiar with, there is a short period of trying to feel each other out, but you only got 10 laps to do it in a duel here, so really not a lot of time to figure out who you're going to be working with and who you feel comfortable around. This one might get a little frantic with a spot on the line.
There's going to be a lot of feeling out here tonight. 13 drivers looking to make their first career Venom Truck Series start here tonight. And some of these guys were at the Pro-Am last week at Daytona. Some of them were not.
Well, on that outside line, Salamone is the lead car on the outside right now. Truck, excuse me. And they were wiggling back and forth quite a bit there through turns 1 and 2. They're going to have to get it together a little bit better than that if they want to make a run towards the top. They actually lose a little help. Only 3 trucks on the outside now.
And the duels last season compared to this season, way different. We had exactly 36 trucks in last season's field with no field cap, theoretically. So we had 18 in each duel. Now, we've taken the top 20 out of qualifying. So now that leaves 11 in this duel and 10 in the second one. So a lot less trucks to work with. You really have to be on it in these lines, whether it's the top or the bottom. That is losing the numbers game. You really have to have it together if you're going to be rolling with less trucks in your line. And we got a few people watching along with us here. Glad you can make it out for the season opener with the Venom Truck Series. If you're hanging out with us here tonight, let us know. Give us a shout in the chat, and we'll shout you right back. Shout out to Get Player TV for the first chat of Season 6 for the Venom Truck Series. And some guy named Matt Williamson chimed in right underneath him. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that could be, but probably a stand-up citizen if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah, that's some wild guessing there.
That inside line had to chuck up quite a bit. Samard got a little bit out of shape. Everybody behind him had to check up. All of a sudden, the outside line has 4 trucks and is moving. Salamone leading the charge.
You mentioned Kyle Zittel won the Daytona Pro-Am last Tuesday night, but do you remember who finished second in that race?
To be honest, I don't.
It was Will Salamone.
Well, Will Salamone is certainly no stranger to showing his face in the front of the field, and he's looking to do it again here in duel number 1.
It's now going to be 6 on the bottom, 5 on the top as Kyle Dumig pulls up to the top side. And Salamone leads that one. Working lap number 5. It just seems like Kevin Sargent, who I believe is the second truck on the outside there, can't quite get square to get pushing here on Salamone. And they'll lose about a truck length and a half every now and again, but then mount a good charge like you see here down the back straightaway.
Well, I actually raced in the Pro-Am event last Tuesday, and I can tell you from experience, if they are using the same setup, these trucks were a lot more loose than I had expected. Now, once you get squared up, they push pretty easy, but it was not easy to get them squared up where you could get an easy push going. So we're seeing that right now in this duel, and when we get 40 trucks out there, it's going to be even wilder. It might be we might be in for a wild night.
And 5 laps to go. Yes, they are all over the joint here.
Wow, that outside line just has so much trouble going into turn 1.
Simard has been in the hunt for the lead or just leading outright this entire time. Brody Gunter is pushing him right now. It's going to take a lot of restraint for me as the season rolls along to not say Brody Gunter every single time. And if you know, you know. That 0-1 has given a heck of a push here to Pascal Simard, who is not a stranger to some decent finishes here at Daytona. His best career super speedway finish came here at Season 4 with a 7th place finish.
And somebody else in the YouTube chat, it's Jake Burrow saying, let's go. Glad you're able to make it out and watch a little Venom Truck Series racing.
And let us know who you're rooting for as well, unless you're just rooting for everybody. That's not a bad strat. You can't lose if you do that. Oh, Simard just chopped the nose of Gunter down the back straightaway there. They just lost a ton of momentum. Salamone has a nose out in the lead right now. Can't quite clear the 76 down, though. And now, a wiggle behind him from Sargent as well. So that inside line comes charging right back up. It's 7 on 4. 7 on the inside, 4 on the outside, and now 3 laps to go.
And they've played pretty nice so far, but we saw the 09 of Kevin Sargent pushing in the corners when Will Salamone was able to get a nose out front. The more you keep doing that, the scarier it gets, and it's going to ramp up here in the last 2.5 laps.
Salamone out ahead, but not cleared down just yet. Sargent trying to push for all that he's got here. Coming to 2 to go. Now, these guys need to realize up front that they're in a good position as we got some 3 wide a little bit further back.
Yeah, one truck got out of shape near the back and makes it 3 wide.
Learning new names and new trucks.
That's the 94. That's Josh
Caudle.
And he is going to get back in line, but that outside lane is going to have to carry some momentum here, get it back rolling if they want to make a push to the front here. 1.5 laps to go.
Simard gets a bump up the track. That gives the outside line, working with only 2 trucks right now, an even footing through 3 and 4 here. Ryan Borboom is trying to suck up to that 0-9 and even out the top side just a little bit. Caudle trying to do the same as well. Coming to the white flag here for duel number 1. One driver is going home after this, so expect the intensity to ramp up here on the final lap.
Currently in that last spot, it's Kyle Dumig and Austin Holyfield duking it out on the top and the bottom lane. But will it stay clean in front of them? Coming out of turn 2 on the last lap.
The big question. One you can usually just go ahead and say no to, but with only 11 trucks here, who knows? Salamone noses ahead into turn number 3. It's Simard on the inside with help from Brody Gunter. Kevin Sargent trying to push Salamone back up to the top. Flinky Roberts in the mix here as well. Oh, Flinky shuffled out of line just a little bit. The top line is breaking up. It should be an easy win here for Pascal Simard, and he takes it. Kevin Sargent out of shape across the line. And looking at the results, I don't want to say who is out until we get word from race control, because they may be doing it differently than how I'm going to interpret it. So if it works how I think it is, I know who's out, but I'm not going to say it until I get some sort of official word. While we wait for that, we'll go ahead and give you the starting lineup here for dual race number 2. And say hi to Jake Burho, who says he's rooting for Kevin Sargent here tonight. Odd Potato 101 says Michael Fish isn't here, so I hate everybody. That's fair. Thanks for coming to hang out with us regardless. All right, starting lineup for duel number 2. And it is an ICR front row lockout here. It's Jan Van Leer on the inside, Michael Dean on the outside. And Michael Dean doing something special here tonight. More on that in a second. Ethan Patterson and Gary Clark on row number 2. Gary Clark, one of the rookie contenders here tonight. Corey Rutherford and Kenneth Graves then on row number 3. Luke Peterson is giving the pre-race invocation right now on the inside of row number 4 with Cole Maxwell to his outside. And Jordan Giorno and Michael Krall, who won his duel last season, round out the field for duel race number 2. All right. Michael Dean. What do we got for Michael Dean here tonight? Anything?
What a segue from Tommy Cook. We sure do have something from Michael Dean here tonight. We have something new to introduce to everybody here on Turn 200 for the Venom Truck Series. We actually have in-car driver cameras.
Wow.
It's Car Inside, brought to you by Car Inside. Let's take a little look at what we have for the viewers. That is Mr. Michael Dean himself, wherever he resides, inside of his home. This is what he's working with, and he is a VR man, so he's got that VR headset on, looking to go to work here in duel number 2 from Daytona.
Not just his home, but his brand new South Carolina home. He bought a house right at the end of season 5, and we didn't get to see him all that much towards the end of the season, but he is back here tonight.
So we will be bringing you some of these in-car driver cameras all season long. And we have Michael Dean, who's starting on the front row here, is our first one of the season here in duel number 2 from Daytona.
And we got more here tonight as the green flag is out. We'll just have to get to him here. The rest of them all qualified in. Dean going to have to work a little bit harder here tonight. A reminder, you see how hard these guys are going to race. This is for the 22nd starting position. I just want to point that out. Good start for Jan, however. JVL out to the early lead. He's got Ethan Patterson helping him. His teammate wasn't quite able to get anything figured out just yet anyway, but Gary Clark maybe trying to push Dino out and in front of Jan Van Leer. Can't quite clear him down.
Oh, and Van Leer kind of comes off turn number 4, like a half a lane up. Boy, thought the 82 of Ethan Patterson might try to squeeze it in underneath of him. Decides to play nice. It's only the first lap of duel number 2. And again, you see that outside line checking up, wiggling back and forth.
Eric Breeding says he showed up at the wrong track. Oh, man. Not the old Michael Walter. Some good, clean, family fun so far in duel number 2 here. That could all change in a hurry. Especially if we get Dino at the wrong time on the in-car camera. I just want to point out that is the Car Inside with Car Inside camera. Car Inside, of course, Nathan Reynolds' YouTube channel. His qualifying breakdown video for North Wilkesboro is live on his channel, and it's linked in the description. So if you want to know how to get around North Wilkesboro properly, no better way to learn than from the master himself. And thank you to Jeremy McKinnon for the kind words in the chat as well.
And for those of you confused about what's happening on the screen with some overlays, I was afraid this would happen. For whatever reason, my overlay...
replay mode?
Well, it's not replay mode. It just... The live timing and scoring does not like duels for some reason. So
yes.
There have been no drivers and no times going across for the first couple of races here tonight. But they should get fixed for the feature main event. But we'll make sure to monitor that as we're going and make sure that is working for the rest of the evening after the second duel is over, as Jan Van Leer continues to lead on that bottom line, and Michael Dean on the outside in the 73.
6 laps to go at the line here in duel number 2. Then we will set the field officially. I've been told that we're apparently doing a different procedure than what I thought was going on. So, not sure who is getting bumped from the field here tonight, but we will find out here shortly. But it's still insert coin racing 1 and 2. Ethan Patterson trying to play spoiler into that. Maybe. We'll have to see. Gary Clark, with a big wiggle there. Trying to send the energy up to that 73 on the outside lane. The driver's third back here. Corey Rutherford on the inside. Kenneth Graves on the outside. Now Graves is side by side, I believe, with Luke Peterson. Last season's rookie of the season. Cole Maxwell thought about shooting the gap there and making it 3 wide. Thinks better of it. Rolls out. 5 to go.
Boy, and I'm going to keep going back to this because I think it'll play a big role when we get more trucks out here. There is a lot of weaving going on inside of the lanes. If we ever try to go 3 wide towards the end of this feature race, it's going to be tight and it's going to be sketchy. That's going to be something to watch here. Oh, there's contact!
Rutherford, Maxwell, Graves, Jordan Giorno. Luke Peterson got a piece of it as well. That leaves just 4 trucks out all by their lonesome here.
And there are no cautions in these duel races, so those trucks are going to have to figure it out for themselves. Also, no fast repairs, so that's going to play a major role here as well.
Michael Krall did not start this race, but that is not going to throw a wrench into anything. He is locked in on points. What is going to throw a wrench into that is where Kenneth Graves and Jordan Giorno with some significant damage shake out as well. Getting shuffled out of line there was Gary Clark. Clark drops back to 4th. Jan Van Leer continues to show the way here, coming to 3 laps to go.
Boy, and with only 4 trucks, they have not stopped racing. They're still looking to go for the race win here.
And you saw down the back straightaway a shot of the truck back in the distance, Luke Peterson. He is well outside of draft range here. So unless these guys get to scrapping, which is totally within the realm of possibility, he is going to be out of contention here for this one. But stranger things have happened.
Wow, leave it to Matt Williamson to curse the field just as I was talking about trucks weaving in and out of their lanes.
What I was about to say was that it was happening regardless of anybody's skill level or anything. Everybody's doing it.
That's just the nature of the beast with this setup.
Apparently.
As I said previously, and if you're just joining us, I raced in the Pro-Am event on Tuesday with a lot of these drivers, and we were all experiencing the same thing. The trucks were just really loose. Especially coming out of the corners. It's just gonna be a rough night. You're gonna want to stay on your toes here.
Jan Van Leer, the driver with the most starts in Venom Truck Series history. He's missed only 1 race, the entire series history. Has 1 top 5 in super speedway action, but he has had better runs than what his results show. He is always a guy. You go back to New Atlanta last season, he was up front for the majority of that race and dominant in his line. Now, with 1 lap to go, we'll see if he can bring home a duel win. Gary Clark up into the wall. So Clark may be out of it here. Now it's insert coin 1-2. It's a 2-on-1 handicap match for Ethan Patterson to try and take that Zaxby's truck to victory lane. We'll see if he can lay back and get a big run here, or if Dean and Jan Van Leer are going to settle it for themselves.
And this is the last lap. The overlay may say otherwise, but we are 1 to go. A quarter of a lap left as we're coming out of turn 4.
Patterson is up to Dino's bumper. Is Dino going to be able to do anything here? He looks to the outside. I'm not sure if he's going to have the run. A bump from Jan Van Leer, and at the line, Jan is going to hang on to it. Jan wins it. Patterson in second. Michael Dean in third. Gary Clark, Luke Peterson, your top 5. And
the rest of the trucks did not finish the race.
And the driver who will be missing the field here tonight is David Fay.
Oh, wow.
The word from race control. He was the last place finisher. I believe he was the 8th place finisher in heat race number 1. Let me go double check that. Yes, he finished 8th in heat number 1, or duel number 1 rather. In duel number 2, Jordan Journeau was the 7th place finisher, and that is how they were comparing them. So Journeau was the last non-locked-in driver in duel number 2 with a 7th place finish. Fay finished 8th. And by that virtue alone, David Fay will not make the feature here tonight. Well, do we need a minute to sort out the overlays or anything, or are we good to roll on here?
To be honest, I think it will fix itself once we actually go live with this feature race. But I think I am going to attempt to restart the software just to make sure it gets a nice little reboot.
Okay, so we're going to stand by here, and we'll be back here in just a minute or two.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live. Hopefully our problems have been resolved. It looks like I do have a countdown right now, so it should be working. And looks like I do have some times up on my warm-up overlay, so I think we should be good to go for the feature race. Less than a minute left in the warm-up period. Tommy, with the full field of 40 trucks here tonight, we were in for a treat last year. I think this one might be able to top it.
This is going to be wild. This is going to be a wild show here tonight. The call over the radio from Race Control, don't tear your stuff up on lap 3. He then said lap 4 is acceptable, though. So I'd say watch for the big one on lap 4. And yeah, we'll be gritting here in just a minute. And rather just a second, as there's the checkered flag. And in his first career start, with his first career pole, it is Nathan Palawota of Terminal Velocity Racing who will be leading the field to green for 85 laps in the Rocketman Memorial 85 here tonight at Daytona. Starting to his outside will be his teammate, Oz Kanar, in truck number 16. Row number 2 on the inside is the two-time series champion. He says he's going full-time this season. We hope that's the case. He has yet to have a actual title defense. Nathan Reynolds starts in P3 here tonight. Chad Stearns, 3 times a winner last season, will start on the outside of row number 2. 2 rookies then again on row number 3, Don Milkowitz and Brian Reyes. I've got driver chat on, and I do not have the attention span for them because they're doing the invocation again. All right, row number 4 on the inside. It is Garrett Rainey, one of the Super Speedway aces, and the winner of this race from last season, Jeremy McKinnon. He will start in 8th. John Kay, Allstate John Kay, starts in P9 here tonight, and another former winner at Daytona in the Venom Truck Series, Kyle Zittel, starts in 10th. TJ Bartell, the second place finisher in the rookie standings from last season, he starts to the inside of the reigning and defending series champion Andy Poliski in truck number 32 in the 12th position. Paul Ellison and Joshua Benjamin then on row number 7. Tyler Burgett, another rookie driver along with Benjamin, starts in the 15th position. He has another 2-time series champion to his outside in Ryan Dye, and now in truck number 9 for Ryan Dye. Starting in the 17th position, it is Jeremy Carter in truck number 23. He has Brantley Gainey starting to his outside, the winner at New Atlanta last season in the 18th starting spot. Steve Roman and Paul Sargent then, 19th and 20th. And then it is your dual finishers from there on out. Winner of duel number 1, Pascal Simard, to the inside of winner of duel number 2, Jan Van Leer. And there is the rest of the starting lineup here. We're going to scroll through it and give Mr. Matt Williamson an opportunity to let us know what is going on in terms of some strategy and our track conditions here tonight for Daytona.
Yeah, but we always like to take a look at the weather, and boy, it is a hot one in Daytona today. 130 degrees is the track temperature at the moment. I think that's the highest I've ever seen on the sim, so it's quite the warm one. Our fuel window for tonight is about 30 to 35 laps. Our drivers will have 3 extra sets of tires tonight, and there are 0 fast repairs. So you have to take care of your stuff as this race rolls along.
It's a 2-stop race. Last season's race here had the most cautions out of any Daytona race in Venom Truck Series history. Will we be in line for that sort of action here tonight? We're about to find out as Terminal Velocity Racing, making their debut, lead the field to green. Palawota with help from the Intimidator on the inside line. They have the advantage as we come back to the tri-oval for the first time. to put lap number 1 in the books, but here comes Oz Kanar with a surge to the outside. And lap number 1 of the season goes to Nathan Palawota in his first career lap.
And things have stayed pretty buttoned up to this point. I know that our admins were asking for it to stay somewhat clean for the first few laps, and then let them loose on lap number 4. You can see as we're working down the backstretch, those trucks in their individual lanes but moving back and forth. The problem arises when 2 of them do it at the same time in the same direction, make a little contact, and it's all up in flames from there.
Talked about a lot of drivers switching numbers. And the one that is the highest on the running order right now is Nathan Reynolds. He was number 51, I believe, for his entire tenure with the Venom Truck Series until this offseason when he announced that he was joining the Alabama gang, and he switched the truck number to 38. I believe 3 for Dale and 8 for Dale is the reasoning there.
And I know he said that he wants to go full-time this season. I would be tickled to death if he did, because like you said, he won the first 2 championships of the Venom Truck Series, and then after that did not run a full season, so he's never really gotten a real chance to retain that title, and he's going to work on it here this season, possibly run the full season and try to recapture the Venom Truck Series title in season number 6.
It's the Nathan and Nathan show up front. Palawota leading Reynolds. Note the spelling difference, though. And we have Rebecca Mrs. Woda in the chat cheering on Nathan here tonight. As here we go, we got some movement now from the inside, jumping up. That is Don Milkowitz. Another rookie driver pulls up right in front of Oz Kanar.
Well, that outside lane's gotten broken up quite a bit. Behind Kanar, those trucks were a good 3 or 4 truck lengths back, working on getting back to the rear bumper of Kanar, but it's taken quite a while here. And it looks like they're still slipping back. I'm not sure what's happening here.
Yeah, Chad Stearns is that third truck on the outside, and he is just not able to get up there and make anything happen as of yet. Maybe intentionally, maybe not. But the outside line is suffering.
Whoa! Farther back.
Yikes.
That's the 87 of Joshua Benjamin.
Joshua Benjamin is now just going to go on full defense here right below that yellow line. Hopefully he's able to catch the draft here. But, man, that is going to be tough sledding to do that. But a good save nonetheless, and he gets to keep racing.
Yeah, he gets to keep racing, but I think he's going to lose a draft. He was really, really slow. He slowed down so much that he was on the apron driving around without problems. So I think he's going to lose the draft here. But at least when we inevitably probably have a caution, he will be able to at least maybe stay on the lead lap or get a lap back wherever he is at.
Palawota has led them all thus far. We are 6 laps into season number 6. And driver number 6 is leading. How about that?
The numbers always come up big, Tommy. Tommy, somebody we talked about towards the beginning of the broadcast was the number 53, Kyle Zittel. We talked about how good he is at these super speedway tracks. What do you say we go car inside with the number 53 of Kyle Zittel?
Ooh, maybe he has some secrets to share with us about how he's always able to get it done. Chad Stearns has just bailed out of the pack. He went from pretty decent to kind of decent, back to the decent one, I think is his name now. Kyle Zittel. is decent at Daytona, to say the least.
And he's currently in 16th place. He started around the top 10, so he slipped down just a little bit. And you can see he has the face of determination right now.
He started exactly 10th, so he's down 8 spots right now, currently 18th.
Yeah, so a lot of racing to go here. He's going to jump to the outside line now and take a shot to gain a couple of positions. The only bad thing about running the outside here at Daytona or a track like Talladega is if a wreck happens in front of you, everybody is going to wash up the track and then go back down. So if it happens right in front of you, you're going to be in trouble. But if you're far enough back, you will be able to get woed up and miss that. But the outside is a little bit of a dangerous place to be.
I personally would much rather be on the bottom, especially when you roll up to one of the straightaways. You have room to bail. Top side, you just get boxed in. Everything comes up to you. But it has its advantages as well, but I wouldn't know what they are because I don't do it. But speaking of the outside, Don Milkowitz has got the full door of his truck ahead of Paluota. Now Paluota and Reynolds surging again on the bottom. And a couple of new players here on the outside. Of course, it's still Oz Canar, but he has help from Jeremy McKinnon, the Season 5 winner here at Daytona. Still Paluota out front, but the outside line is making their presence felt here.
Tommy, there's a lot of different ways to approach super speedway racing. There's really two schools of thought, especially on the sim. You're either going to sit way back and wait for the big ones to happen, try to be there towards the end of the race, especially in this league where there are no stage points. That seems like it would be a bit of an optimal strategy. However, we have a lot more trucks in the field tonight than we're used to having. So here tonight, the other school of thought is to try to get up front and stay up front as long as possible. I think that will be the winning strategy here tonight, but certainly holding on to the tail of the field and being there towards the end is not bad either.
Yeah, I believe the average field size last season was 26-ish. We had 2 races with 36 starters, never any before. So this is a big field here tonight. And as of right now, 39 trucks are in touch with the lead pack here. The only one that is not was Joshua Benjamin, who had to make that big save and did so, but now is in danger here of getting overtaken probably within the next 10 to 15 laps, if I had to guess. He is 24 seconds behind race leader Don Milkowitz on the outside. He's finally led a lap here. Nathan Paluota will not go wire to wire here today.
Well, I don't think wire to wire was ever in the cards here.
You wouldn't think so.
At Daytona, that would be the most dominant performance I would have ever seen if that were to happen.
And nobody has ever led every single lap in a Venom Truck Series race before. Andy Poliski came 1 lap short of doing that at Long Beach, but Will Salamone spoiled the party for him. It doesn't matter if you lead every single lap in a race. As long as you lead the last one, you're doing something right.
Well, you know a little bit about that in the Venom Classic Cup Series.
I was not going to bring this up.
Oh, I know you were just waiting for me to bring it up after you said
it.
So I'll indulge you.
Okay. Not what I wanted.
But it is actually really funny how many times that happens at these sorts of tracks. Oh!
Milkowitz down to the bottom. He takes the lead.
Milkowitz was able to get the push from Oz Canar and clear the bottom lane.
But now Canar is on the move with help from Jeremy McKinnon. And Canar is cleared down.
Jeremy McKinnon is no stranger to being in the front at Daytona, and he is one of the best pushers in the field, and that is why you always see him up front. He is somebody that people like to work with and be in front of to get those big pushes out front. You just saw it. Milkowitz with McKinnon two trucks back. And then he was able to push Oz Kanar up to the front as well. He now has Andy Poliski behind him, who is your reigning Venom Truck Series champion.
And not only that, but McKinnon and Poliski, 2 members of the reigning team champions as well. Broke Guy Racing, they're missing their 4th here tonight. Actually, Steve Roman is here. I feel like I have not called his name out at all, but he's down outside of the top 20. But Jeff Langston is not here. So 3 out of the 4 members of Broke Guy Racing represented here tonight. It's the top 2 trucks that finish every single race that will contribute towards the team points. Last season, it was Broke Guy Racing that was able to walk away with the team title. But right now, I believe Terminal Velocity Racing has the top marks locked up as a big bump there from Don to Oz, and we're not settled in just yet. That has got that that bottom line rather all spread out as they try and get lined up on the bottom here.
And you mentioned Steve Roman's name being just outside of the top 20. That, I think, of all the places you don't want to be, right there around 20th is probably the place you really don't want to be sitting. But there is nowhere to go when you have a field this size, so you got to make do with the cards that you're given, and you just got to hang on, make the right moves here. And the early goings of this race, on lap 16 out of 85, still a ton of action to go here from Daytona.
You talked about being boxed in on the top side, but how about being boxed in by your competitors? Right around 20th place, you've got half the field in front of you and half the field behind you. You're going to run into something hard and probably get run over if there's a crash. So it's not an optimal position to be in from that standpoint. But, you know, if you sit back and ride just outside of the top 20 for most of the race, stay out of trouble, then you have less work to do to try and get yourself up to the front as the laps wind down. So, again, some benefits, some drawbacks. That's going to suit some guy's style. That is exactly what Steve Roman did at Talladega in Truck 200, and he walked away with that victory. Osnar up the track. Don with a little bit of a bump there to the 16. Everybody hangs on to it, but that bottom line is fading. There goes Broke Guy, 1 and 2.
Yeah, and off of that little bobble from Kanar, Broke Guy Racing, Jeremy McKinnon, Andy Poliski able to take the top spots on the bottom, and now more contenders on that outside lane are coming. And if you're about 10th back on the outside lane, you might want to stick with it. As drivers continue to push themselves to the front, you might get cycled forward, but anything past that, it's going to be a little sketchy.
More teammates on that top side. That is the 11 plus 11 equals 22 of Mr. Brantley Gainey Jr. Leading the way with help from duel number 2 winner Jan Van Leer. Brody Gunter is in that mix as well on the top side, but they do not have a ton of numbers up there for the time being as we are approaching the 87 of Joshua Benjamin. The bad news is that he is going to be a lap down, but the good news is that he is going to be the only driver a lap down. We do have 2 more drivers, Cole Maxwell and Kyle Dumig, that have lost the draft. So hopefully, or Josh is hoping that if there's going to be a caution, it's going to be soon. So he could try and get back on the lead lap here.
Yeah, and if you remember, he just had to slow down going into turns 3 and 4, so he doesn't have any damage. He should be able to catch the draft here after he gets past and be the first car, or the first truck rather, a lap down, get that lap back, and he will be good to go after the next caution, as long as he doesn't get caught up in it.
That's the big if. And Eric Breeding in the chat says, are they going to stay calm? No. But everybody's being good now, which is true.
Whoa, a little bit of moving there from the bottom to the top.
Oh, wow.
That was close.
Luckily, that doesn't shuffle Oz out. And Don is able to sort of clip back down in front of Kyle and at least stay in A line.
Yeah, 2 trucks tried to go together. It was Oz and the 19 of Milkowitz. Milkowitz was not clear. He had to go back to the bottom, but Oz was able to make it work. He is back to the front for the time being on the top side, looking to get out front again and clear on the bottom. Wow, he pulls right down in front of McKinnon. That was tight.
Wow, big moves here from the rookie. And speaking of rookies, how about Jordan Giorno? He's in that tide ride on the top line. He was the driver on the chopping block. He was the 40th starter here tonight, and he is already up inside the top 10. Great work from that 84, as it's Oz Kanar back out front.
Well, this outside lane needs a little bit of help. There's about 5 trucks all together right now and a little bit of gap after them, but they are losing ground quickly. Oh, and one of them dives down to the bottom. We're also going to start worrying about pit stops here in about 10 laps, so you got to worry about there being an opening to get down to the bottom. Otherwise, you're going to be shuffled out on pit stops, and pit stops with 40 trucks is going to be a wild scene here tonight.
And last season, the pit window was right about the halfway mark of the race. It was very much a will they, won't they, if they go green the whole way. We don't have to worry about that this season. It is a 2-stop race. They have lengthened every single race on the calendar this season by 10% and kept the fuel at 100% fuel capacity. So now you're guaranteed to have more pit strategy in these races, which, you know, I don't even have to say it if you're a regular at this channel. I love pit strategy. I think pit strategy is the best. As we're coming up on Cole Maxwell, I do believe, driving the HendrickCars.com, or rather the DealDozForFree.com. Number 3. So now there will be a battle for the lucky dog position here tonight. Or not tonight, just now. Quick look at your top 10 here as we're working lap number 23. It's Oz Kanar leading the way, Jeremy McKinnon in second, Andy Poliski in third, Don Milkowitz in fourth, Kyle Zittel, Brantley Gainey, Brody Gunter, Jan Van Leer, Nathan Kalawoda, and Jeremy Carter, another rookie, inside of the top 10 here in truck number 23.
Somebody we really haven't mentioned since the first few laps of this race, Nathan Reynolds. He is all the way down in 14th right now, and he is the man that owns the YouTube channel Car Inside, who we have been plugging all night long here. And let's go ahead and take a look at what he's going through as this race unfolds. We are going Car Inside with the man who owns Car Inside.
Layers upon layers upon layers.
And you can see him. He's got a lot of space. He is right behind Ryan Dye, and he's giving Ryan Dye plenty of room in front of him. So looking to settle in and just ride for a little while here. I'm sure he is gearing up. Just wants to have a good green flag pit stop here, and then maybe try to make some moves after that. You don't want to get caught on the outside when you have people that you're trying to work with. Him and Ryan Dye are actually teammates here, so they are going to be looking to pit together and make sure that things go smoothly.
Not sure if something happened in the back of the pack, but 31st through 38th are very strung out, like in danger of losing the pack strung out. So not exactly sure what's going on back there, but nevertheless up front, single file for the first, well, we'll just call it the top 5. As we got Brantley Gainey peeking to the outside here. And I mentioned it at the very tippy top of the show. Nathan Reynolds has a second place finish at Daytona, a third place finish at Daytona, and that third finish I didn't mention, it was a 6th place finish. So doesn't always get up and make a whole bunch of noise at Daytona until the last lap. Then he will make very loud noises.
We've gone single file through a lot of this field at the moment. There's a couple of drivers still towards the front that are hanging on out there. I believe one is Jan Van Leer.
Yes.
And I can't
Jeremy
tell
Carter.
exactly. Yeah, Jeremy Carter behind him. So those two still trying to make it work on the outside here. Might just want to keep those positions until they can find a way down to the bottom lane, but just no holes have opened up for them so far. If we go past that, you can see everybody else is pretty much single file here.
That's going to help a lot of those trucks towards the back that I mentioned were in danger of losing the draft. And here we go. We got some pitters. Jeremy McKinnon pits from second.
Wow, and he really he was stomping on the brakes trying to get in there. Had a little bit of a wiggle going into the pits. You'll have to look for black flags as we continue here.
And Broke Racing sent all three of their drivers in. Pascal Samar, Brody Gunter, they both slid through their boxes. So it'll be slow stops from them. Paul Sargent is in as well. And Cole Maxwell pit as well. So those are some of the drivers that hit pit road that time by. A lot of notable drivers. Joshua Caudill has just left the server. So that is your 40th place finisher here tonight, more than likely. Oz Kanar is coming this time with Don Milkowitz and others in tow. I would imagine all of Terminal Velocity is coming in. There is Palawoda. There were no black flags that first group. And I'm going to be checking here for black flags this time, because we have quite a few drivers. Brian Reyes is in here as well. Austin Holyfield, Jordan Giorno, and Joshua Benjamin one lap down.
And the rest of the field here towards the front. Jan Van Leer leading it right now, trying to make their way past a lapped truck. That is the number 25 of Corey Rutherford. And I think if they wanted to, they could stretch it out a little bit longer here. You see Jan Van Leer, he decides to stay out. Nobody coming in this time towards the front of the field.
Yep, not seeing any black flags so far. I think Austin Holyfield may have had one and I just missed it. Either that or he just aborted his pit stop attempt altogether.
And those drivers that pit on lap 27, they are just past the range where if you split this race basically in half last year, it would be like 30 and 30, I believe it was. So if you do 30, 30, and then 27, that's going to put you just past the race finish. So they did just enough laps to finish this race, and they decided to short pit everybody else here. But the rest of these drivers could continue for a couple more laps at least, if not a few more, if they want to.
And nobody coming in this time. So of the drivers who have hit pit road so far, Jeremy McKinnon is the leader of those, and he is down in 21st. Caution is out. Got problems out on the track.
I never saw what it was for, but I did see smoke going into turn 1, but I never saw who it was actually for.
I believe Oz Kanar and Don Milkowitz made some contact. It may have been looked like just a bad push from Oz up to Don. But I don't think Don hit anything exceedingly hard. Some good news.
You can see the front end of Kanar is absolutely bashed in here. I'm going to see if I can find a replay.
I'll keep an eye on pit road while you do that.
Looks like at this point he was already down on the apron. Ah, here we go. Yeah, this is on the front stretch. And yeah, just looking to push right out of the tri-oval. And The 19 was just kind of moving up and down the racetrack, and Milkowitz just a little bit. Kennard puts the back bumper to him and turns him into the outside lane, and then spins back down to the inside. That's going to be your first caution of the race.
These two had been working together at the front, but roles reversed. Kennard was in front of Milkowitz on the inside line for a number of laps. And I don't really put that on anybody because we all know at this point these trucks are exceedingly wobbly for whatever reason. This setup is just not conducive to good, clean pushing. So caution is out on lap number 29. And here comes everybody that has not pit yet. Jan Van Leer, Brantley Gainey, Insert Coin Racing leading the charge down pit road here.
And everybody that stayed out is going to have a bit of an issue. Oh, Nathan Reynolds slides way through his box.
Wow. I think somebody forgot to set their brake bias pre-race. Can't say I haven't done that many times. I believe Jeremy Carter has won the race off of pit road with Kyle Zittel. And TJ Bartell as well. Shout out to TJ. He's up here in the Love's truck making some noise. Another driver with a number change. He went from, originally he was 59, then he went to number 9, and now he is 74, which is a number that I am partial to. It's a number that I run on a lot of the leagues that don't allow me to have 3-digit numbers.
Nathan Reynolds stayed in his box for a long time. I'm wondering if he picked up a little bit of optional damage at some point.
Maybe some optional damage, maybe a speeding penalty. Who knows? It's not going to show me a speeding penalty under caution, unfortunately.
Also,
we got
forgot to
Lindsay
mention
G in the chat cheering on Brantley Gainey, our 200th subscriber.
You beat me to it.
Yep. Never forget.
But what this is going to do, those drivers that came in and pitted early, they are going to benefit from that caution. Everybody else that did not come down pit road will have to now, and they will cycle to the front of the field. So a few of those drivers that were a little bit farther towards the back or the middle of the pack that came in with some of the others, they are going to benefit greatly from that caution coming out here.
You see Oz Kennard at the front, and he just went past the pace car. He's actually on the tail end of the lead lap. So he is getting the wave around here after being up and in the mix for the lead. And he's still got that front end damage as well. So maybe it'll be better at the back of the field. He'll be able to pick up a little bit of a slipstream and negate the negative effects a little bit. But he is going to need to get that truck worked on in a big way for him to get back up to the front and be in the mix for this one. But with what he has shown us thus far, not counting him out, that is for sure. It's been a lot of the rookies in terminal velocity racing showing the way here thus far. I'd venture to say they have led the most laps combined here tonight. Behind them would be Jeremy McKinnon, who has led the next most laps. But McKinnon and Poliski will line up side by side. And Steve Vroman will line up on the inside of row number 2 with Pascal Samard to his outside, the winner of duel number 1. We are extending this caution because apparently the lucky dog was not awarded. And also the field is not quite set in the back half. So I believe Corey Rutherford was supposed to get the lucky dog. He did not. So he should be allowed to pass here.
What that caution also did to some folks, I think it put a few of our drivers a lap down here as well.
Yes.
It looks like all the way from 31st on back, I believe, are all a lap down here. Either that or they just haven't quite caught the field yet. It's hard to tell at the moment.
Well, Paul Sargent in 31st is a lap down. Corey Rutherford is trying to lobby right now that he should have been the lucky dog driver. He's in 32nd. Austin Holyfield, Ethan Patterson, Kyle Dumig, Don Milkowitz, and Michael Dean down through 37th are all 1 lap down. Joshua Benjamin, who pit with the first group, is 2 laps down in 38th. Cole Maxwell is 3 laps down in 39th. And Joshua Caudill, I believe, is not in the session anymore. And it will be credited with the 40th place finish unless he can come back and rejoin us here. Over under 19.5 trucks with damage at the end of this race. I am definitely taking the over, and I'm not even going to think twice about it.
I was going to say the same. I think we're due for a big one by the end of this race, and if it happens anywhere near, I mean, even the top 15 of the field, there's going to be a lot of trucks that have to get out of the way and in a hurry, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it.
So we are coming to our first restart of the race on lap number 35. I don't believe anybody was awarded a wave around or anything, but that helped us get the order set a little bit further back in the field. So we are good to go now.
And Broke Guy Racing is out front on the restart, and they do it beautifully. Jeremy McKinnon out front. His teammate Andy Poliski pushing, and look who it is. It's Steve Roman in third.
Broke Guy Racing finished with a podium sweep at Pocono. I'm pretty sure they did it at Indianapolis, too. Sorry, the Forbidden Rectangle. So they're no strangers to domination, but they've yet to do it at a super speedway.
Well, the super speedway is about the hardest place for it to happen. I know it's the track where you work together the most, but it never fails. Something bad happens to at least somebody on the team, it seems, every time you try to make it work. So they're looking to do almost the impossible here and go 1, 2, 3 on a super speedway for Broke Guy Racing.
Yeah, shout out to Hunter Leach for that one.
We'll leave it at that.
We got the rookies trying to make something happen here on the outside line. Nathan Palawoda is even with Steve Roman. Third in line there on the outside. Brody Gunter behind him. Jeremy Carter. And then Garrett Rainey is the first veteran in line there on the outside. Fourth back. Palawoda and Gunter. 2 of the early favorites, I think, for Rookie of the Season. They are making some noise here on the outside.
In our pre-race interview, Flinky Roberts is currently in 10th on the bottom line, 5th in line on the bottom.
Good to see
that
Flink.
Would be 6th in line.
The Floridian at his home track here.
Don't worry, I promise that that Knoxville replica is coming to Knoxville before too long.
Can't wait to see dirt track racing in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's going to be great. And how about this? Palawoda, big power surge here on the outside. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to mention that. Speaking of dirt track racing, I was doing some history. I drove by Kentucky Lake Speedway a couple of times in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know the history of that track. Did not realize that they got ousted by the government, unfortunately, which is just
that's on par for
bones.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's a really picturesque area around that track as well. I know the one you're talking about. Every time I make my way down to you, it's always there, and it's always in plain view, and it always looks great, even for being run down and decrepit at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks good even to this day, and if anybody's wondering, I believe the asking price was $3.2 million if you'd like to buy it. So if anybody wants to try to start some racing in the Kentucky-Tennessee border, right around there, if you got a few million to spare, you could buy Kentucky Lake Speedway.
Let's get a GoFundMe going. We can make it happen. As Nathan Palawoda led across the line that time, but is not clear, not by a long shot, now is fading back. Looking for some help from Brody Gunter. As Poliski pushing McKinnon. Continues to be the winning tandem on the bottom.
And while we have a couple of teammates working together, let's go ahead and go car inside with Andy Poliski, your reigning Venom Truck Series champion in season number 5.
2 wins for Andy last season. Came in back-to-back races at Martinsville and Long Beach. He was the model of consistency. Was able to walk away with it despite some hiccups late in the season. But Andy is showing his stuff here again out front at Daytona. One super speedway victory to his credit came all the way back in season 3 at Talladega. Best finish of 8th here at Daytona.
And it doesn't look like he's pushing too terribly hard. Didn't really even push McKinnon down the backstretch. I mean, they have a pretty good lead going here. You also don't want to get too far out in front. Otherwise, you can kind of get freight trained by those behind you. So there is a lot of art to managing a lead, especially with teammates here. As you see the number 6 of Palawota pull up next to Jeremy McKinnon here.
I think what helps so much is, yes, it helps to know how to work a tandem draft, as the outside line is going to get a big push here. Gunter is absolutely going to town on the back bumper of the 6. Palawota is cleared down. He's going to take the lead. What I was about to say is the art of the tandem is necessary, but I think having 3 trucks on the same page, like Broke Guy has on the inside, that helps a lot. That 3rd truck makes a huge difference. But unfortunately, my statement is counteracted by what just happened on the outside, as Gunter, without any help, pushes Palawota up to the lead, and Palawota leaves him high and dry. The 6 is back out front at Daytona.
Yeah, the 6 is back out front, and that outside lane has lost a ton of momentum. There's a couple of trucks on the inside that if they wanted to take a shot on the outside to try to surpass and get up to the front, this would be the time. You have 3 teammates in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but behind them, it's Samard and Kevin Sargent. Flinky Roberts also there to potentially make a move to the outside if they so wish to. If you want to make it happen, this would be the time.
The 18-year-old Wisconsinite showing the way in his first career Venom Truck Series race. I'd venture to say he's probably led the most laps thus far, but if it's not him, it's Jeremy McKinnon, who still rides in 2nd. Andy Poliski, Steve Broman, Pascal Samard, your top 5. How about Kevin Sargent up in P6 right now? Greg Roberts, the Flinkster, is still hanging inside the top 10. Brody Gunter, Jordan Giorno, and Jeremy Carter. We are single file through the first 7 trucks here.
Boy, and the middle of this pack here has split up big time.
I believe everybody on the lead lap is hanging with the draft right now, but in the danger zone with that front end damage still is Oz Kennard. But he does have some help from a couple of lap trucks. Hopefully that will keep him in touch with the lead pack here until we can get another caution.
There's a couple of tandems on the outside, working the outside lane a little bit farther back, all the way back to about 16th or 17th. There's a little bit of a grouping of trucks on the outside lane, trying to make up some ground here. Looks like the 11 of Michael Krall is in that. Also, the 24 of Gary Clark.
I said earlier
Bartel in the 74 as well.
I said earlier that Jordan Giorno started shotgun on the field. That was actually Michael Krall, because remember, he didn't actually start his dual race. So he started in last. So Krall trying to make some noise here.
And the good thing they have going for them is there's a couple of trucks on that outside lane in front of them. If they can catch that draft here at the right time and make their way up, they can make up quite a few truck lengths here.
Lap number 45 goes in the books. We now have 40 laps to go in the Rocketman Memorial 85.
Over halfway through the race now, not a single big caution yet. If you were one of those drivers that decided to hang back, you got to be wondering if you made the right decision at this point. And now's the time you have to decide, do I continue to ride this out until a big one happens, or do I have to make something happen myself? Because if you do, you're going to have to do it sooner rather than later.
Now, take what I'll say here with a grain of salt, because you and I both know sometimes we will see blinking that is not actually happening in the sim. But Vroman is giving a little bit of space here to Poliski. That's causing them to fall off of the top two. And for me, anyway, Andy Poliski is starting to blink
there's one turn in the back.
Uh-oh. Problems? Kyle
like
Dumig. I believe,
it was
anyway.
the 7 of Dumig. The back half of this field has broken up a lot from that incident. It happened right around Nathan Reynolds, I think, but I'm not sure exactly where that started.
It was right in front of Nathan Reynolds, and actually, it was Dumig. He just barely got on that apron through the tri-oval, and it is so, especially with how wobbly these trucks are, so light, so hard to catch. And he did it with ease. So it was an incredible save for Kyle Dumig. Unfortunately, he's going to pay by probably losing the draft.
Whoa! One truck's on the outside wall. I believe it was Gary Clark. And that is going to stack up those outside lane drivers. Michael Carl, TJ Bartel was right behind him. And they are going to lose a few spots here.
So even with going single file here, we're still finding ways to get in trouble. Maybe that's just a case of some of these drivers starting to let their guard down just a little bit.
You also have to start thinking about when you want to make your moves and before pit stops happen. If we stay green, green flag pit stops should be happening right around lap 60. There were some drivers that came to the pits on lap 27, had 3 laps under caution, so that puts their window right at around lap 50, between 57 and 63 or 64 is probably when they're going to be looking at coming back into the pits.
Assuming we don't go into overtime, yeah, the window opened up right around 55, 57 for some of the braver drivers, some of the more confident drivers, if you will. But then you're really banking on not going to overtime. But statistically speaking, in past Venom Truck Series outings here at Daytona, that has been a safer bet.
Yeah, and the benefit to coming to the pits as early as possible, if they really want to stretch it, they could probably even come in maybe lap 53, 54. That would give them about 31, 32 laps on a tank of fuel. And the benefit to that is you have to put less fuel in the tank on your pit stop. A shorter pit stop then means a little bit of track position gain when you come out of the pits. That is what these drivers are trying to think about as they're making these laps, and they don't have long to think about it because we only got a few laps until you hit that window.
Jeremy McKinnon is still tucked up right underneath of the race leader, or right underneath of his bumper rack. So we are mostly single file. I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us here tonight for the Season 6 opener of the Venom Truck Series. Leave the stream a like and hop in the comments. Let us know that you're hanging out with us here tonight. We'd appreciate it.
Also, shout out to some people that have subscribed to Turn 200 tonight. Looks like we're at 240 subscribers now. So
wow.
We've gained a few. Thank you to those new folks that have joined us here for Season 6 of the Venom Truck Series. If you're somebody new that has not subscribed yet, please think about it. It helps us out, and it's free to do so. And leave a like on the video if you're enjoying the Venom Truck Series action. We have a lot of more races to come this season, and I guarantee you that these drivers will put on a show for you.
And the top perk of all is that I will love you. All right.
Take that with a grain of salt, everybody.
He doesn't subscribe to me, folks, unfortunately.
All right, pretty much. It's happened again. Pretty much everybody is single file. And you know what I'm going to say? Everybody is getting ready for green flag pit stops.
Now, let's go through the field one more time, just to be sure. We got everybody a little bit of airtime here tonight so far. Nathan Palawoda, Jeremy McKinnon, Andy Poliski, Steve Roman, Pascal Samard, your top 5. And it's Kevin Sargent, Flanky Roberts, Jordan Giorno, Kyle Zittel. Rounding out your top 10 is Ryan Dye, the 2-time series champion. Garrett Rainey, Jeremy Carter, Brody Gunter, Brian Reyes, Will Salamoni through the top 15. Chad Stearns then in 16th, Jan Van Leer, Gary Clark, Michael Kroll, Brantley Gainey down in 20th, TJ Bartell, John Kay, Paul Ellison, Mark Dillon Jr., Nathan Reynolds then back in 25th, then Ryan Borboom in 26th, Luke Peterson, Tyler Bergert, Kenneth Graves, and Oz Kanar then round out your top 30 trucks on the lead lap. Corey Rutherford right now has the free pass position in 31st, Austin Holyfield, Paul Sargent, Ethan Patterson, and Michael Dean. All one lap down. Don Milkowitz and Kyle Dumick also one lap down, 36th and 37th.
The other important part about these green flag pit stops that will happen here very shortly is you want to make sure you don't come in with a gigantic group and have slow entry into the pits. Your optimal group that you really want to come up with is about, I don't know, maybe 8 trucks, maybe 10 trucks at the most. You want to be able to give each other enough space to really push it into pit road without hitting each other and spinning out. So you don't want everybody to come in at the same time. So if you're sitting back in 15th, 20th, you see a bunch of trucks go in, you might want to think about continuing with some of your other competitors so you can have an optimal pit stop and pit entry when you decide to come in. It's a game of cat and mouse and a little bit of dancing out there on the racetrack.
But it's probably one of, if not the most important games you need to play here at Daytona to get it done, especially in a race like this. So far has been action heavy, but not in a chaotic sort of way.
Not in a chaotic sort of way yet.
It's the big asterisk.
Have to believe these last 30 laps, or after we make some pit stops here, the intensity will ramp up. However, some of these drivers have an opportunity to gap themselves from some of their competitors. Here we go. Kyle Zittel, Ryan Dye, your first 2 into the pits here, brought Stearns, Salamoni, Jan Van Leer, Gary Clark, Brantley Gainey Jr., Ryan Borboom, and Michael Kroll with them. So that's about 10 trucks that all came together. And I'm not sure what happened to Palawoda. Palawoda's on the outside.
Maybe, he voluntarily moved up out of the way, so maybe trying to go find his teammates. Have to watch here. Here comes Terminal Velocity. Here comes Broke Guy Racing. Boy, McKinnon really late on the brakes there. Hopefully he can get the foot down.
Back.
Oh, we are going around.
It looked like Brian Reyes. I couldn't tell. I think it was Kevin Sargent was the 09 that actually got spun around. Yes, it was. He is in the grass.
And there was a third truck that got some contact out of that as well. Couldn't quite tell who it was, but yeah, Reyes had him locked up for a long time. Unfortunately for Reyes, he has a meatball flag, which is damage that has to be repaired. You cannot go back out onto the track until repairs are made. So Reyes is going to be a number of laps down here. That hurts the numbers game a little bit for terminal velocity.
Oh, no. Jordan Jorno's made a bad move. He was leading that line. He came into the pits, and nobody came with him. He will be a sitting duck here unless he can. Oh, no, he slid through his pit box. That's
and the triple dipper, he was speeding.
Oh.
So Jordan Jorno, unfortunately, is going to have a long pit stop here. And Eric Breeding pointing it out, and knock on wood, everybody. The Venom Truck Series went caution-free at iRacing Super Speedway, which is the hardest of the super speedway. These guys are pretty clean for the most part. As here comes another gaggle of trucks into the pits. John Kay leads the charge. Garrett Rainey is in as well. A couple of drivers from the Alabama gang. Looking, scanning. Kevin Sargent has gotten a black flag. I believe the Alabama gang, including Paul Ellison, have gotten through plainly, but John Kay is just now getting into his box. He slid through. He's still not in his pit box. Oh, this is a disastrous stop for John Kay. He just now got in the box. Ah. That is beyond unfortunate.
Yeah, beyond unfortunate, and he's usually somebody that those little things that you have to do, he usually does them really well to find his spot, find his way into the top ranks. And we have another couple of people coming into pit here, Jeremy Carter and
Austin Holyfield. And also Kevin Sargent coming in to serve his black flag as well. Brian Reyes has gotten his meatball flag cleared, but he is coming back into the pits as Mark Dillon is showing the way here at Daytona.
We have quite a few rookies.
Tyler with a shot to Dillon. Dillon's able to pull back down onto the bottom here.
Quite a few rookies in this little group here.
And out in front of him, I'm not too sure. This isn't Allstate John Kay going to the top side, as nobody in this little group is coming into pit just yet.
Yeah, and we're still waiting for this pit cycle to work its way out.
There are multiple trucks in this group. Only the top four are actually on the lead lap here. Ethan Patterson is one lap down, as is, I believe, the truck that is behind him, which is Joshua Benjamin. He is 2 laps down. Patterson will get back onto the lead lap if he doesn't pit this time, and the caution is out. We got a couple around in turn number 4. Ryan Borboom is one of them. More trouble, Paul Sargent as well, and Luke Peterson. So already the biggest crash of the day so far, and we'll see if anybody else got a piece of the action here on lap number 60.
All right. You see a little bit of contact here. I'm going to replay this, try to figure out who all was involved here. Is that Salamone?
It does look like Salamone is involved here. Not too sure. Somebody gets a big shot.
This is Brantley.
Oh, it looks like Brantley Gainey.
Yeah, this is Brantley Gainey, and I believe Austin Holyfield.
Yeah, that is Austin Holyfield.
Gainey tries to clear. He comes down the track and isn't clear, so he chops the nose of Holyfield. Salamone gets turned from that as well. And, oh, my goodness. Brantley Gainey Jr. comes up the track, absolutely clobbers Sargent. Luke Peterson gets tagged here as well. Ryan Borboom involved. So those are a lot of veteran drivers there that were caught up in that one.
I mean, Gainey, a super speedway winner from last season. Salamone is always in contention here. I think Salamone is going to come out okay on this one, but Gainey is destroyed. Borboom is destroyed. Paul Sargent is destroyed as well. Borboom, not necessarily a veteran in the Venom Truck Series, but made a lot of noise here at Daytona and was in contention to win it late last season. So, yeah, that was certainly an unexpected accident here. And we have yet to see a full green flag pit cycle yet. And we're going to have to wait another week to do just that.
Yeah, we will, although we saw a lot of drivers come into the pits there. We had only a few trucks left that had not come into the pits, but a lot of drivers in this field. So you're going to have quite a few that try to stretch out those runs, play a little bit of a different strategy. Didn't work out for them that time.
And next week, we are at 2008 Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Get Along Little Doggy 115, presented by Harvard the Dachshund Hound on Instagram. Yep. Leave it to not just Paul Ellison, but also all the drivers in the Venom Truck Series for just their incredible race naming scheme that they've got going on here. It is always awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those that are new to the Venom Truck Series, one thing you'll figure out is the names of the races are quite out there, quite funny, and most of them are. There are a few that are quite serious, paying homage to some lost people, to the Venom drivers or the Venom Truck Series itself. This one named after the Rocketman, Merv Turner.
Absolutely. The only retired number in Venom Truck Series history is the number 1 that belonged to the Rocketman. And he is missed by all of the OG drivers here in the Truck Series. We have extended the caution here. Apparently there's something going on with the wave around and Lucky Dog system. So we're letting the wave arounds happen here. Should I even mention, dare I mention, the name of the New Hampshire race that we'll be having here in just a few weeks?
I'm not sure you want to, because you might mess it up like you did
I will.
earlier.
The benefit of this is that I'm going to be able to read it. New Hampshire, it'll be the first trip in the Venom Truck Series in their history to New Hampshire for the Fast Laps, Flat Tracks, and Flapjacks 155, presented by Flapjack's Pancake Cabin of Kodak, Tennessee. I will tell you right now, that will not fit in the title of the YouTube video. It is too long. It will not fit on the graphic bar at the top of the screen. I don't know what we're going to do for that yet. We're going to have to... We've got a few weeks to figure it out, though.
All I'm going to say is whoever named that one, we have beef.
I can tell you who named that one. It's a two-time series champion and league operator, Ryan Ty.
Well, I figured as much since it was at New Hampshire, and
Yeah.
the beef continues with some of the admins of the Venom Truck Series and
goodness.
the broadcasting team of Turn 200. And when I say broadcasting team, I mean me.
I was gonna say I know who pays me. I'm abstaining. I am bowing out of your beef.
All right. I want to go. Did I just hear somebody blow up?
I did not hear that, but that doesn't mean it did not happen. Brian Reyes is in the pits.
Brantley Gainey Jr. just jumped to the pits.
That may be your culprit there, unfortunately. Let me...
It's hard to tell if he has a lot of damage or not, but regardless...
He certainly did have a lot of damage.
And we're going to go back quite a bit here on this restart. I want to go car inside for this restart with somebody that's back a little bit farther back in the field, just so you all can see what it's like on these restarts to be buried in the field. That's going to be Michael Dean, who unfortunately went a lap down with a pit cycle and a caution that came out and just hasn't been able to get that lap back. Currently sits in 28th, it looks like, but we'll go car inside for this restart here.
Two more retirees to add to the list. We lost Joshua Cottle early in this one. Now you can add Paul Sargent and Ryan Borboom, both drivers who were involved in that last accident, unfortunately. They have elected to call it a night. That will leave us with 37 trucks here in the closing laps. 23 of those, only 23 on the lead lap here. But it's Jeremy McKinnon, Andy Poliski, teammates up front, and another teammate in the mix, Steve Roman, on the inside of row number 2, with Kyle Zittel to the outside. And we are car inside.
The outside lane did not get a very good jump. Michael Dean is being passed by 3 or 4 trucks at this point. Certainly not the start he needed.
And to clarify, Brantley Gainey has just come out of the pit, so he didn't blow up, but he was still getting damage. But he is not going to be in the lead pack here. Just had a little bit of 3-wide action as the field in the back tried to get sorted out. But up front, they're still side by side, and Poliski, I don't think, has led a lap yet. And I will point out that coming into this race, he was only 7 laps away from being the first driver in Venom Truck Series history to lead 1,000 laps across his career. So if he can click some off here, he will be the first to do so.
Well, the intensity is going to start ratcheting up here. 19 laps to go. Still a lot of trucks without any damage that feel like they might still have a shot to win this thing. I
might owe Eric Breeding some money since I took the over.
Well, he also took the over. He said as much in
did
the
he?
chat. I have the receipt, so I don't think anybody's going to owe anybody any money, unfortunately.
No exchange of currency needed here.
And there's one car blinking just a little bit.
Yes.
That's Ryan Dye. He has that issue every once in a while here. It should sort itself out.
Bright green truck for Ryan Dye. Hard to miss.
And also a number change. We've had a lot of number changes and team changes since our very first season of the Venom Truck Series. For us, anyways. That would be Season 5. So there's quite a few things for us to catch up on, and we might make a few mistakes as we go along here this season from what we're used to.
What's funnier is that Dye actually changed numbers twice during the offseason. He was number 75, then he changed it back to 9 after being number 15 last season. It's also number 4 in a different league that we run, and will be number 200 starting on Wednesdays. So the man of many numbers, Ryan Dye.
A little bit of movement up there towards the front. Roman got just a bit out of shape behind McKinnon.
Chad Stearns is back in the mix behind Ryan Dye. He's got help from Pascal Samard as well. Garrett Rainey is up here as well with help from Paul Ellison. And in front of Rainey, Nathan Palawoda and Brody Gunter, the 2 highest running rookies of the race thus far, or at this current moment, rather.
And don't look now, but Kyle Zittel, somebody we have talked about at length tonight already. He is second on that outside line in the number 53, and he knows how to get it done on a super speedway. He's going to be one to watch here as we wind down. 15 and a half laps to go around Daytona. And the Rocketman Memorial 85, the first race of season number 6 in the Venom Truck Series.
I think the odds of us going single file again are low. Very low. Unless we have 3 trucks left. Have we done a crank it up at all?
We have not, but this would be the perfect opportunity to spark a little action on the track. What do you say we crank it up here from Daytona?
You remember what happened last season when we did this?
Oh, I remember.
Well, let's do it again.
Here we go. Can't believe we did it. We made it a whole lap around, cranking it up, and no action on the track as far as any cautions coming out. 13 laps to go.
A rarity for sure. McKinnon continuing to show the way. Winner here last season. His 4th career victory. Started off what was a really good season for McKinnon. They'll be the first to tell you, though, it kind of fell apart at the back half of the season. He wasn't able to get the championship. McKinnon not exactly sure what his plans are for this season. But I think he'll probably be more inclined to go the full distance here in Season 6 if he were to kick it off with another win here at Daytona.
Yeah, you got to remember, he won the first race of the season at Daytona in season number 5 as well, just this last season. He's looking to go for it again, and he is in a good spot right now as he has a teammate behind him with 12 laps to go.
Lap truck up ahead, gonna, I think, pull down under the apron.
And that is the number 5 of Jan Van Leer. And look at all the trucks shuffling. A couple of trucks going inside lane, a couple of trucks pulling to the outside lane. Everybody trying to find their spot for these final few races. 3 wide near the back or near the middle of the pack. Oh, and one gets turned.
There we go.
That's Michael Krall that's in the inside wall. Jeremy Carter and the 23 machine. There's another one going through the infield grass.
This started pretty well far back, I think, with the 24 getting up into the wall into turn number 3. That's why you saw them 3 wide. He's going to get into the wall again, come down and tag Michael Krall, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not, actually. We'll let the replay do the talking.
Well, there was one around here in the back already. That was actually, I think, a separate incident. That was Michael Dean. So a few trying to get checked up before that, and I apologize for the little bit of a slip up here. Let me find Michael Krall. Here we are.
Yeah, we had 2 separate accidents here.
Yeah, that Michael Dean incident happened behind this Krall incident.
And it looks
you're going to
like...
see, you were correct. It looked like Gary Clark does get into the outside wall in front of them. That's going to put them 3 wide, and he comes down the track just a bit. I'm not sure exactly what happens from this point on. Also, Michael Dean has just left our camera operator room, so
yes,
looks like Michael Dean is done for the evening. And Gary Clark, a little bit of netcode involved, but he comes down off the wall into Michael Krall, and Krall tries to corral it. He just can't. Oh, Flinky Roberts is involved as well. So Krall gets turned down into Flink, and the 23. The 23 is Jeremy Carter. And those two are going to take the most damage here.
So, meatball flags for Austin Holyfield and Kenneth Graves, who were involved in the back half of the accident. Michael Kroll and Michael Dean have now disconnected. So there's 4 trucks in trouble. I guess 2 trucks in trouble and 2 trucks that are just done. So, how about the old 2-for-1?
Yeah, we don't see it often, but with that many trucks here tonight, it certainly could have happened, and it did. And those 2 incidents quite literally did not have anything to do with each other, it seemed.
And a womp womp from Mike in the chat, indeed.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, I feel you, partner. So you've got 21 trucks on the lead lap. Jordan Giorno got the lucky dog that last time around. Kenneth Graves is on the lead lap right now, but he's got a meatball flag. He is in the pits, so he is going to go 1 lap down. So that will give us 20 trucks on the lead lap here. And the laps are ticking away.
They certainly are. Looks like as long as we don't extend another caution, should be green with 8 laps to go. And
familiar, familiar
Yes.
names, familiar faces, and then the opposite of that. Bertie Gunter, Nathan Paluota. In the context of this race, 2 familiar names, but 2 drivers making their first start in the Venom Truck Series, and you just wouldn't guess it by the way they've raced here tonight.
Certainly, I mean, Paluota has been up front all night, has led quite a few laps here in this one. Also on the lead lap here still a few other rookies. Jeremy Carter, Tyler Bergert, Mark Dillon, I believe, is a rookie. Gary Clark as well. So there's quite a few names that we are not so used to, but certainly seem to be names that we might want to get used to here in the Venom Truck Series.
Unfortunately, one driver that was making a lot of noise early in the race, Oz Kanar, got some damage when a lap down. He was also involved in that last accident and picked up some more damage. So he is still trapped 1 lap down. Never say never, but his opportunities to get back on the lead lap and come away with a top 20 finish at least are starting to dwindle here as we're coming back to the green flag with 8 laps to go. Teammates McKinnon and Poliski on the front row. Broke guy, team number 3 driver, Steve Roman in the 00. In the mix here as well. Bertie Gunter, Kyle Zittel, Nathan Paluota. Your top 6 drivers as we storm into turn number 1.
Inside lane didn't get going real well. It allows Kyle Zittel to pull down to the bottom, 4th on the inside lane. He leaves Andy Poliski out to dry here, and they are 3 wide down the backstretch.
Stearns gets shuffled out, trying to find his way now back into that outside line. And Will, behind, I believe, Pascal Simard. Seven to go.
Oh, and a lot of shuffling going on near the back of the pack here.
Oh, somebody got up into the wall in the back. Oh, and they're crashing. A couple of trucks around. Caution is out.
Caution is out. Patterson is slow on the bottom. Looks like Gary Clark is in the grass on the inside.
Yeah, Gary Clark, I think was the truck I said had got up into the wall. Comes down and tags Ethan Patterson, who does a hell of a job saving that truck. Haven't got to call Ethan's name out a whole lot tonight, but I'll call it out for that one because that was a whale of a...
Let's take a look at what happened to Clark here. Just entering turn 1, gets way up into the wall. Oh, doesn't save it. And you're right. He tags Patterson big time.
And he had gotten up already and brushed the wall once. I will say it's almost like you get magnets in the side of your truck. Once you hit it once, you are so likely to hit it again, no matter how hard you try not to. It's just so easy to do.
Yeah, certainly. Well, the problem is you get up there in the wall and then you try to turn yourself off of it. And when you turn hard to get off the wall, it just throws everything off, the balance of the truck. And, yeah, you're right. It seems like you're going to find it again.
So Kevin Sargent will now get back on the lead lap. He got the lucky dog. That'll make it 21 on the lead lap. But again, Gary Clark, I believe, with a meatball flag on the pit road. So we will drop then again to 20. See if anybody elects to come in and get some extra fuel. Maybe gearing up for a green-white checkered here. Nobody from the leaders. Nobody even faking. I at least want to see a pump fake or something. Nobody's giving me anything. I think Joshua Benjamin and Jeremy Carter are coming in pits. Joshua Benjamin is 3 laps down. Carter is on the lead lap. He pits from 18th. So he'll be the first one with maybe a little bit of extra get up and go here late in the going.
And 3 of our 4 drivers that we have in driver cameras for tonight are still alive here on the lead lap. It's Andy Poliski, Kyle Zittel, and Nathan Reynolds, the owner of Car Inside YouTube channel. You can check him out in the description of the video. And we haven't looked at Kyle Zittel here in a while. Let's go ahead and go Car Inside for right now and see if he's talking strategy, see what's going on with the man in the number 53 truck.
He's talking something, I think.
Certainly is. You can see
talking with an S, but not strategy.
Well, he had his hand on his face and was talking to somebody. I'm assuming a teammate. Here when we went live with this camera. Looks to be in pretty good spirits right now. I would be too if I was going to be starting in the top 10 with 4, it's going to be 3 laps to go when we go green.
Yeah, this is the Kyle Zittel primo position here. When he took the white flag at the Pro-Am last Tuesday, he was 5th. And he came across first. And was only one of 2 trucks to come across the line. So I think he is probably maybe a couple positions back of where he wants to be, but he's in the ballpark, and that's good enough here at Daytona.
Certainly is. The other man that's starting inside, actually of the top 5 that we have an in-car camera for, that is your reigning series champion, Andy Poliski. And you can see he's got his VR headset on. He is also talking strategy with teammates, and of course his teammates are right in front of him. And first car in the outside row, that's the 00 Steve Roman. Right in front of him, the number 12 of Jeremy McKinnon. These 3 are certainly talking about how they want this to play out for themselves. However, if Roman tries to check up that outside line at any point, he could get railroaded and turned right into his teammates. You have to be careful with how you manage the lead here if you're Broke Guy Racing.
Words of wisdom from Illinois State Fair headlining country music artist Tim McGraw. How bad do you want it? How bad do you need it? Jeremy McKinnon, winner last season, 4 career wins. Reigning champion Andy Poliski, 11 career wins, 2 last season. Steve Roman is a one-time winner in the Venom Truck Series. He has not won since season 1. He is looking for a win.
We're also going to go Car Inside with the owner of Car Inside here, Nathan Reynolds. He will be starting 16th. He looks to be in pretty good spirits, too. He's got to feel like he really has nothing to lose here on this restart, so he can let it all hang out here for the final 3 laps at Daytona.
Reynolds is always a guy to lie in wait, but 3 laps to go from 16th to 1st. Only the Intimidator could pull that off. We'll see if he can get it done here. 3 laps to go. Are we going to get it done in regulation? McKinnon with a good start. Vroman with no help on the outside. Paluota is now going to duck into the bottom, maybe. He does. So Vroman is going backwards in a hurry here as McKinnon and Poliski nose to tail trying to scoot away. Brody Gunter now will be in the third spot with Paluota behind him.
A little contact.
Oh, boy.
There was some contact between Vroman and Zittel as Vroman was going to try to get to the inside line. Zittel had momentum, and now he's going to pull up in front of Steve Vroman on the outside. Zittel letting it all hang out here.
Let's see if this is going to play out in the long term here as Chad Stearns is going to get shuffled out of the top side. Top line is starting to get some numbers, but they're starting to lose some time. Coming to 2 laps to go.
Oh, and one on the
Oh, we are 4 wide. How did they not crash? Just outside of the top 10. We were 4 wide with a truck on the apron. That has never worked. That'll be the only time ever.
There was a big wiggle out of Steve Vroman in the 0-0. This inside lane is going to start looking for side drafts. Looks like Garrett Rainey is looking to make it 3 wide here. Vroman's going to get put in the middle, baby.
Oh, we are all over the place. Ellison with a kiss of the wall further back on the outside line. Are we coming back to the white flag? Are we coming back to the yellow? One more time around. Zittel at the line with help from Vroman.
Vroman giving a hell of a push to the 53 of Kyle Zittel.
The super speedway juggernauts of the Venom Truck Series leading the way. McKinnon on the inside, Zittel on the outside. Who is going to make the move further back that disrupts things up front? It's Garrett Rainey. Rainey now looking to get some help and make it 3 wide. They're wrecking behind. Pascal Samart goes around. Zittel nearly up and into Rainey.
Oh, more contact.
Zittel
Around.
Zittel's around and upside down. 10 trucks all involved. 3 make it through. It's McKinnon, Poliski, and Rainey. Poliski finds some ground underneath at the line. Give it to Andy Poliski. But he went under the yellow line. We'll have to see if that is going to stand. But it's 43 one-thousandths of a second to Andy Poliski at the line against his teammate Jeremy McKinnon, who second, Garrett Rainey in third.
Wow, what a finish. I told you they didn't disappoint, folks, and we got another good one here at the end.
And the word from race control, Andy Poliski is your race winner at Daytona.
And he has blown up on the inside wall. I'm not sure he'll be able to make it around to celebrate. I'm sure somebody will try to help him out and at least push him.
That is career victory number 12 for Andy Poliski. His first, or rather his second at a super speedway. Yeehaw.
Looks like he knows he's not going to make it. He's actually backing up. I think this is where he will sit for his celebration. Not sure he's going anywhere.
43 one-thousandths at the line. We got to take another look at that.
We certainly do. It'll take me just a moment here to figure out where we need to go. Yep, that's it. He has gotten out. Well,
Kyle Zittel with one bobble too many and absolute calamity behind him.
Yeah, it started with Zittel. Him and Rainey actually made contact a couple of times. You can see Zittel trying to pinch a little bit of netcode between him and Poliski. Gets up into Rainey and then down into the 0-1. That is Brody Gunter. And this is what happens behind him.
Zittel with the ride.
That's a big one if I've ever seen it. That is 20 trucks all involved at the same time. And let's back it up, take a little bit of a different view here. Go one more time.
Goodness gracious.
And Zittel spun like an absolute top through that whole thing.
I mean, it's almost easier to tell you who wasn't in that one. Rutherford, Dye, Bergert, Ellison, Reynolds, Stearns, Gunter, like you said. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, just about everybody that could be involved was.
And once we get a replay of the finish here, we're going to go straight into the podium interviews. Then we'll go to our full feature race rundown finishing order.
As that's happening behind them, there are only 3 trucks that got through.
And we're going to talk to all 3 of them here in a second.
It'll be Andy Poliski, Jeremy McKinnon, and Garrett Rainey. McKinnon is actually out front as they come out of turn 4. And McKinnon goes up to block Poliski. Poliski goes down below. He does go a little bit below the line, but this finish will stand. Garrett Rainey was not able to get to them. Some contact you see there between Poliski and McKinnon, but Poliski is going to take the race victory regardless. And would you like to go through a full finishing order before we get to our interviews, or do you
we'll
want to
do
the
it
interviews
after
first?
the interview here because I don't want to keep these guys waiting too much longer. And with that, we'll go ahead and pull in the Rain Man, who is going to take home a podium finish here tonight. Garrett Rainey, welcome back to Booth 200, partner. How are you doing?
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm happy. Obviously, a third place finish is good at a place that you never really know what's going to happen. I always feel like I run good here. I usually qualify well. I've just never seen the good finishes, so it's maybe I found a lucky horseshoe or something to actually be able to finish this thing pointed in the right direction on all 4 tires.
Now, I will say, we didn't call out your name a ton here tonight, but that's not always a bad thing at Daytona. But, man, on that last lap, you looked like you were hooked up with the rest of the Alabama gang. You were making the move on the outside line, or on the extreme outside line. It really seemed like you were on your front foot there and on the attack the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 to go, I gave it a shot, and Steve Broman, who was running second line on the top line, kind of blocked me off. I gave him a little tap, just kind of let him know I was there. I fell back in line. I knew I could get the run on the backstretch. Of course, like you said, I had my teammate Paul Ellison there directly behind me. I told Paul on the radio exactly what I was going to do. Coming out of 2, I was going to go 3 wide. He was either going to be in the middle or on the top, whichever one got open. So I set up to get the run. I took it, and I felt like I was there, and then there was some door slamming going on. I got hit twice from the inside, and it slowed me down just enough so that when they spun, I just didn't have enough speed, kept up to stay with Andy and Jeremy there. But, hey, third place finish, got through that cleanly for the most part. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll give an attaboy to Paul Ellison, who unfortunately, I believe, ended up in the catch fence while you were scooting away there to come away with a podium finish. Matt, you got anything for Garrett here?
First of all, congratulations, man. You gave it your all. You tried that top lane with your teammate. You did everything you needed to do, and everything that I would have done to try to get that victory. What are your goals here for this season as we continue, especially after a third place finish, which is a great way to start a season?
Yeah, I mean, I've never won a points paying race in this league. I joined in season 2. I've had a lot of success. I've got quite a few top 5s, some top 10s. I've ran well and got wrecked out. I mean, I hold the league record for most incident points in a season. So obviously starting a season third at Daytona, where, like I said before, anything can happen. You can wind up last when you lead every lap. It's awesome. Honestly, though, my goal for this season, as you guys know, and some of the people that'll watch this, obviously the league drivers know, I've got a whole mess of new people on my team and affiliated team this season. And honestly, I'm never going to be able to win a driver championship. I want to get as many podiums, top 5s, top 10s. I mean, obviously, I'd like to get a win. But if I can lead my team to a team championship and those guys have a lot of success, That's really all I'm after. Personally, I'd like to finish top 10 in points. I feel like I'm a good enough driver to do that. But at the end of the day, if we have team success, those guys that are behind my back and by my side every week, if they're successful, I'll be happy with that season.
Oh, it sounds like some good goals for you for this season. Let's get some shout outs and some love going for you.
Oh, yeah. First and foremost, obviously, I'd like to thank my teammates, the ones that were here tonight, obviously, and those that couldn't make it. That goes for the Alabama gang as well as Super Kick Revival Racing. Those guys are a blast to be in a race with and to chat with during a race. Obviously, I've got some real life sponsors here that I need to thank. That'd be Golden Eagle Syrup and Alabama Sunshine Hot Sauce. I want to thank Nathan Reynolds for the paint. I want to thank my wife and my kids for staying, let me do this essentially, staying in other rooms and things so I'm able to do this. But yeah, at the end of the day, I appreciate y'all guys doing this and appreciate all the guys in the league, man. This is a blast every week.
There you go. You got your sponsors, you got your teammates, you got the wife in there, and you get your 4th career podium as well. There's the stat number for you. So looking forward to many more from you here this season, and go party hard here with the P3.
I appreciate it. Buffalo Trace whiskey on the way, baby.
There you go. There's the Rain Man, Garrett Rainey. Gonna bring in your 2nd place finisher here now. 2nd consecutive podium here at Daytona. Comes up 1 spot short of where he was last season, but not by that much. Jeremy McKinnon, the dominant force of this race. Welcome back to Booth 200. It's been too long, but we're happy to have you back here. Do you do anything differently here on the last lap at Daytona?
Thanks for having me. No, there's nothing you can really do. Just hold your line and hope for the best at that point. You guys got runs on the outside, guys to the high side, you're bottom 3 wide. At that point, you're just hoping and praying that you got enough speed to get to the line first.
You were the dominant force at the front of the field here all night long. That's got to feel pretty good.
It does, but I'm here for the win. 2nd place is great, but I really wanted that trophy.
Matt, you got anything here for Jeremy?
First of all, congratulations. We saw at the beginning of the race, you push just about as good as anybody in this field. You might even be the best one. You push quite a few people out to the front of the field. When you're out in front of the field, have a teammate behind you. If all that calamity didn't happen, are you and your teammates pretty much dedicated to each other? I know there at the end, you ended up getting passed, but mostly because there were only a couple of trucks left. What's usually the team priority going into something like that?
Stay committed until the last lap or the last half a lap, and then everything goes out the window, and then it's every man for himself.
Well, let's get some shout-outs going for you here tonight.
The wife, my kids. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do this. Andy, Jeff wasn't here tonight, but Steve Roman, and just you guys for broadcasting, Corey for my awesome paint job, and I think that's about it.
Well, there you go. Keep your head held high here, partner. It was a great run for you here tonight, a P2 finish, and we hope to talk to you plenty more here this season.
I hope so. Thank you.
Your runner-up finisher, Jeremy McKinnon, and he is running to his teammate, Mr. Andy Poliski, who is now up into the Turn 200 booth. Sorry we pulled you away from whatever you're watching there with Kyle Zittel. But
you're good.
Welcome back to Booth 200. It's been a while, but really it's not been that long since we've had you up here. And you've staked your claim as the top driver once again here. Did you lead more than a lap here tonight? Not that you needed to, but
I think I led the last 100 yards, and I have a knack at super speedways of doing that, because this is the 2nd super speedway race where I have won coming to the checkered flag, and that's the only time I've led.
Well, that's like you said, that's all you need here at Daytona and Talladega. But talk to me about the rest of your race. It seemed like you were pretty quiet in the early, at least portion of the race, until you got hooked up with your teammates, and then it was hunting the front after that.
Yeah, we had a plan, and we pretty well stuck to it the entire time. Especially once me and Jeremy got together, And then after a couple rounds of pit stops, we had Steve right there with us, and then our Alliance teammate Brody right there with us. So we had a good 4-truck group there that we could do pretty well what we needed to do. When we wanted to, we were able to control both lines. So it kind of worked out in our favor. Everything just worked out perfect. Cautions fell where it didn't kill us. So yeah, everything kind of worked perfect.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner here?
First of all, congratulations. You got it done here tonight with the help of some teammates, and you avoided some disaster there towards the end. The reigning season 5 champion, it's got to feel good to get a a first place finish and to start this thing off right.
Absolutely. This is the best I've ever started the year. Usually I'm mired back in the pack, 15th, 18th, 20th in points because of bad luck at Daytona. So it's great coming off the championship, starting the new season 6 out strong. Like you said, my teammates, great job working together all night long. I mean, we everything was perfect with us. So communication, everything.
Well, you're the top dog here again tonight. You got the gold medal. You got the trophy. Shout-outs for
I thank my sponsors, Nissan Wichita Falls. They're on the truck again this season. They'll be on the truck for several races. Thank my teammates at Broke Guy, Steve Roman and Jeremy McKinnon. They're great teammates, bouncing a lot of information back and forth. Our Alliance teammates, with Work in Process, Corey and Brody. Corey's business, CJR Graphics. If you need to paint, go see him. He does excellent work. He's done Brody's truck and Jeremy's truck, as well as several in the field. So he's your go-to guy for paints. And then again, like I always go back to you guys in the booth. You guys always do a great job in the booth. I'm excited to come back and watch it and see how everything went.
There you go. We got to thank you as well for running the Car Inside with Car Inside camera here tonight. You're one of our test pilots for that. And I think things went pretty well, especially since we're 1-for-1 now with the in-car camera drivers coming away with the dubs. So got to be a good omen going forward.
Yeah, I'm going to say if it's going to be like that, I'll keep you guys on every single week.
Yeah, well, no promises, but we're off to 12th career victory for you, Mr. Andy Poliski, the reigning champion. Starts it off in a big way here tonight in Season 6. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, now before we go any further, let's get the full field rundown here that was promised. Andy Poliski, Jeremy McKinnon, Garrett Rainey. Round out your podium, and then top 5 finishes tonight for Will Salamone in 4th and Kevin Sargent in 5th here tonight. That is his 2nd career top 5, his 2nd at Daytona as well. So great to see Kevin Sargent in the top 5 here tonight. Ryan Dye is going to finish in P6. That is his best career Daytona finish, believe it or not. 7th place finish here tonight for Chad Stearns. 8th for Kyle Zittel. Despite all of that, somehow he is going to finish 8th. Jeremy Carter is your top finishing rookie here tonight. He will finish in P9 after an eventful race for that 23 truck. Brody Gunter then will finish in 10th. Mark Dillon Jr. in 11th, just outside of the top 10. 3 rookies in a row there. TJ Bartell, quiet night for him, but he will finish down in P12. Nathan Reynolds then back in 13th. Pascal Samard, who got spun around before the big one, he will finish in 14th. Those are the only trucks on the lead lap. Steve Roman will not finish this race. He finishes then in 15th. Nathan Palawota, same story there. DNF, 16th. Paul Ellison, same, 17th. John Kay in 18th. Jordan Giorno then in 19th. Tyler Burgett in 20th. And then drivers that did finish the race but were not on the lead lap before that. Luke Peterson, 21st. Flinky Roberts in 22nd. Kyle Dumick, 23rd. Corey Rutherford in 24th. Oz Kanar in 25th. Ethan Patterson down in 26th. 2 laps down in 27th. Don Milkowitz. Jan Van Leer then in 28th. Joshua Benjamin, 29th. And Brantley Gainey Jr., 3 laps down in 30th. Gary Clark, Cole Maxwell, Brian Reyes, Kenneth Graves, Michael Kroll, Michael Dean, Ryan Borboom, Austin Holyfield, Paul Sargent, and Joshua Caudill. the rest of your finishing order down through the 40th position. Unfortunately, is a DNQ for David Fay to kick off the season here tonight. And that is that's pretty much it for Daytona. Matt, what are some of your thoughts about what we saw here tonight?
Wow. Well, I was quite surprised that, first of all, at the beginning of this thing, we actually went really clean throughout most of the race. A couple of small incidents there before we got to the end, but ultimately the big one did end up happening, and it happened in a big way right on the final lap. Andy Poliski able to bring home that victory, though, starting off his attempt to regain the championship and contend for another one is off to a hot start. I got to tell you, I am just excited to be back in the booth for some Venom Truck Series racing. These guys put on a hell of a show, and excited to have some more folks along for the ride. A few more subscribers here tonight. Everything has just gone off incredibly well here for the first race of the season.
Absolutely, and shout out to some of the late chatters here. Podium interviews. Flanky hopped in the chat. Kept my foot in it. Got through the big one. Glad to hear it. Kyle Zettel says he could have kept it straight, but the net code there, that does make it a little more difficult. And Will Salamone says he went from 18th to 4th on the final lap. That is incredible. So good stroke of luck. Salamone, I think, is the only driver to make it through last Tuesday's big finale wreck and this Tuesday's big finale wreck. So good on you, Will. Congrats on the P4. And we'll get to talk to you here, I'm sure, within the first few races of season number 6. A reminder to everybody, we're back in action next Tuesday night with the Get Along Little Doggy 115 presented by at Harvard the Dashing. And that is at 2008 Atlanta. 115 laps on that cheese grater-like surface of Atlanta Motor Speedway. That is going to be a blast. Pit strategy abundant. Next Tuesday night, same time, same place, same faces in the booth, different faces in car inside with car inside. You'll have to wait and see who is going to show up next Tuesday night. It is going to be a blast, but one thing's for sure, you're going to show up next Tuesday night. I am going to make sure of it personally by reminding you to hit subscribe on the channel and hit the bell to get notified when we do go live next Tuesday night. That'll also keep you in the loop for things like Recap 200, which happens after every single both non-points paying and points paying NASCAR Cup Series race. It will also keep you in the loop for things like the Retro Racing Roundup, which will be back this Friday. I still don't know what race I'm doing. It is going to be a difficult week trying to get that all sorted out, but we will figure it out. Any other closing thoughts for you, Mr. Matt Williamson?
Well, you know what I like to do. I like to thank everybody that was here watching with us tonight, and the best way for me to figure that out is by who was chatting with us. We've mentioned most of them throughout the night, but want to thank Will Salamander, the Dude KZ, Kyle Zittel, Flinky Roberts, Eric Breeding, Mr. Mike, Lindsay G was in the chat as well. Rebecca Mrs. Woda was in the chat. Jeremy McKinnon a little bit earlier. Kevin Sargent. Odd Potato, Michael Fish's counterpart, Jake Burho, and Get Player TV was in the chat very early here this evening. So thank you to everybody that came out and watched here tonight. Like I said before, just a really good night overall. The first race of a new season for the Venom Truck Series. Season 6 has started out with a banger. I cannot wait for the rest of them.
Absolutely. 1 down, 15 to go. We're back in action next Tuesday night at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But until we meet again, hopefully next Tuesday night, for everybody here with the Venom Truck Series and everybody with Turn 200, for Mr. the one and only the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, I've been Tommy Cook. We say so long from the Virtual World Center of Racing, where Andy Poliski, the reigning champion, stands tall once again as the race winner at Season 6, the Rocketman Memorial 85.